Welcome to On KELOLAND Rewind. I'm Maddie Paul. From a longtime businessman and philanthropist retiring to a man biking coast to coast across the United States, we have a lot of stories to share with you today. First, after more than 50 years in the lumber business, Al Shonman has decided to call it quits. From its downtown location to the store on Western Avenue for decades, Shonman's building materials was a staple in the Sioux Falls community. KELOLAND's Jordan DeSmet caught up with him and shows us how he made an impact beyond selling lumber and screws.
Last week, hundreds of people gathered to celebrate the retirement of Al Shonman.
I, Derek Wink, Mayor of Harrisburg, do here proclaim May 22nd, 2025 is Al Shonman's Day. Congratulations.
Shonman was the fourth generation to work at his family's lumber company.
It was started by my great-grandfather down in Walnut, Iowa.
Shonman's was established all the way back in 1888. Al got his start there in the 1970s.
When I got out of college, I couldn't find another job, and so I asked them, my dad and uncle, if I could come to work in the business, and they were happy to have me.
About a century after its founding, Shonman's moved its headquarters to Sioux Falls. Around 2008, Al took over Shonman's from his father Cecil and his uncle Herb, who were both in their 90s at the time.
So at 77, I'm taking early retirement.
During his time leading Shonman's, Al became more than someone who sold building materials. Pat Costello got a front row seat to Al's giving heart.
His reach has been far and wide and deep in this community, and he is a quiet individual who has had an enormous impact.
Al had a soft spot for nonprofits. For example, he helped secure the lumber for the current building that makes up the St. Francis House.
Now we have grown to what we are today, and we continue to grow, and he helped build that foundation of our agency to take the next step.
He was also someone the Eagle Scouts turned to whenever a new project rolled around. To show their gratitude, the Sioux Council Boy Scouts gifted Al this plaque and a coin.
The stories that are shared about the never-ending parade, perhaps, of young Eagle Scout candidates trying to develop the plans for their Eagle Leadership Project as they came before Al seeking assistance and funding donations for their Eagle Scout projects, lumber, hardware, all of the various things that were needed, and Al generously supported them.
His giving didn't stop at outside organizations. About 10 years ago, Al changed Shonman's to an ESOP, or an employee stock ownership plan.
There's a lot of people that woke up with a lot more in their retirement account when that happened.
But if you ask Al, his love for giving was something he learned from the people who came before him.
That goes back to a lot of people in our community that kind of set the pace that all of us in my generation should do, that we should give back to the community and different agencies that need help.
About 1 year ago, the remaining Shonman's locations were acquired by Builders First Source, a company headquartered out of Texas. At Al's retirement party, BFS employees wore a white shirt and black tie, an ode to how the Shonman sales team used to dress. Now, after a proper send-off, Al can start building the next chapter of his life.
What are you going to miss the most about this?
Oh, just seeing the people.
The people will miss him as well.
What a legacy he has left in this community because of his generosity and his giving heart.
To have a community made up of people like Al Shonman is beyond measure. It is just beyond belief what that man has done for the community.
Well, I just don't think you're going to find a more honest man with as much integrity. I mean, he is just a sweetheart of a man, and the world is a better place because of Al Shonman.
With On KELOLAND, I'm Jordan DeSmet.
Shonman was also named South Dakota Philanthropist of the Year in 2005 and was inducted into the South Dakota Hall of Fame in 2010. In our next Eye on KELOLAND, one day out of the week, you can expect a group of people who have a shared love for country music and dancing to gather under one roof. KELOLAND's Julia Lynn brings us a closer look at the line dancing scene in Sioux Falls and how it's hoping to grow the community one step at a time.
So many people tell me they have two left feet, they could never, and they try it, they fall in love, and I see them back every Thursday now.
Each week, you can find Andrew Bird and his fiancée, Caitlin Polson, teach line and swing dancing at Pave along Phillips Avenue, as both say it's something they never thought would be part of their lives.
Not something I saw for myself, but I love helping people.
I had never done it before. I actually didn't like country music before, so it was really odd for me to now be here, but I wouldn't change it for the world.
The two met during Pave's Country Night and have been dancing together ever since, so much so that they now teach others every week.
We usually demo a little bit, then we get into learning the dances. We break it down step by step, make it easy for you.
The most consistent or most common moves, I would say, are that grapevine, triple step. A lot of people add a little shimmy here and there into their dances, and that makes it really fun too.
7, 8.
After a few practice runs, dancers are able to try out their new footwork, something that keeps Tucker Murtha coming back week after week.
My favorite part is just seeing the happy faces and the amazement when people get things. You know, they're trying to learn a line dance or move with their partner, and they just finally get it, and the smile on everyone's face is amazing. That's what brings me back every time.
As others come to try a new skill.
It's really hard to be worse than I am, so I mean, if that tells you anything, they're going to be in a good spot. They don't have to be worried. Everyone's here to help each other learn and get better.
Since becoming a dance instructor, Bird says he's seen firsthand how much the line dancing community has grown.
In the last 5 years, definitely, line dancing has skyrocketed.
I've seen it really become a social aspect all over the country, so we're happy to bring it up here with Pave and just make it part of South Dakota.
However, the night wouldn't be complete without your favorite country songs. Dante DePerno has been the one behind the DJ booth for the past few years.
I love music, and I really feel like being a part of a community that can, being like a tastemaker and being someone that can influence people, you know, especially in our downtown community, which is just growing, especially the nightlife scene, I feel very grateful.
DePerno says he enjoys being part of a community who uplift one another through dance.
People are here to help you become a better dancer if that's what you're passionate about, which I love, and I love being a part of those types of environments.
As the line dancing community hopes to see new faces take the dance floor.
Come out and try it. No matter what, I don't care if you think you can't do it. I promise you can pick it up, where we'll have even 60, 70, 80-year-olds come out to dance. So there's really no age limit, and it makes me really happy to see people getting out and moving.
With On KELOLAND, I'm Julia Lynn.
Summer dance lessons begin at 9 o'clock at night, and every other week the instructors switch between line dancing and swing dancing nights. Still to come, preparing for the tens of thousands of visitors who are expected to travel through western South Dakota.
We believe we're the best loved roadside attraction in America, and we want to keep that title.
A look at Wall Drug ahead of tourism season coming up after the break. Welcome back. For a lot of families, any trip this summer to the Black Hills usually involves a stop at Wall Drug. The town sees thousands of visitors each day. KELOLAND's Tyler Lauder explores Wall Drug and all it has to offer.
For many, summer kicks off after Memorial Weekend. However, for Wall, guests start arriving as early as late April.
Kind of preparing people to stop here in Wall. But once they get here, we definitely have the Badlands, and that's well known. And we get a lot of travelers that'll kind of come through the Badlands, see the Badlands, and come through Wall, stay in Wall, and then kind of finish on through the Badlands to the Black Hills.
Mary Williams, the current and first female mayor for Wall, has seen an evolution over the years as more people continue to show up.
Welcome to Wall is what we say to the new faces that come. And yes, Wall Drug since 1931 has made this community a international destination because of their billboards that they have worldwide.
Wall Drug struggled at the beginning. However, after putting up their famous signs, the business began to grow by first handing out free water to people going through the Badlands. Now that growth is seen a few generations later.
Ted hired a high school boy, lettered the sign, went out and put it up. Before he got back to the drugstore, the first customers had already stopped. They were giving out glasses of free ice water. They were selling ice cream cones, Coca-Cola, snacks and knickknacks, and instantly they weren't going broke anymore.
Over the years, Rick's father, Bill Husted, constructed the wall drug seen today and increased its size from roughly 4,000 square feet to now 76,000 square feet.
And you'll notice in our community that we have paved streets throughout town, and that's important for us to give our visitors just a very inviting look when they drive into our community.
So far, Williams has counted people from 37 different states that have already visited this season, with around a dozen different countries represented as well.
Constantly growing, constantly shifting to how do we meet the needs of the people who are coming here? Do we need to build new hotels? Do we need to renovate hotels that are already existing? Just trying to keep it a pleasurable experience for all of our visitors.
In addition to seasonal staff, several people who grew up in the area have returned to take over shops and businesses from previous generations.
And they're taking over businesses in the agriculture area as well as the tourism area. So yes, Wall Drug is on their 4th generation, and we've got other Main Street businesses in that same manner.
Wall Drug itself employs close to 200 staff to help them navigate their busy season.
We believe we're the best loved roadside attraction in America, and we want to keep that title. We want our customers to have a great experience, enjoy Wall Drug, and keep them coming back generation after generation.
With On KELOLAND, I'm Tyler Lauder.
Wall averages around 10 to 15,000 visitors each day who stop by to eat, shop, or just take in all that Wall and Wall Drug has to offer on their travels. And as we head into the summer, farmers are watching for what comes next in the economy.
Looking towards the markets, seeing what tariff talks do and what other trade talks do, and hopefully we can get some of that sorted out so we can keep a profitable environment for each of our farmers and everybody can keep on farming.
The difference between planting corn versus soybeans when we come back. Welcome back. We often talk about farmers having to keep a close eye on the weather as they head into planting season and beyond. But also important for them is the economy. And this year, it's projected that market conditions and potential returns are favoring corn over soybeans. The USDA projects South Dakota farmers will plant 6.2 million acres of corn and 5.1 million acres of soybeans. KELOLAND's Lauren Solik looks at why we might be seeing more corn in the fields this year.
Farmers in South Dakota have had a strong start to the year with some early planting, followed by steady rainfall.
As a farmer, it's nice to take a break because of rain.
According to the USDA, about 85% of South Dakota's corn crops have been planted, with 50% already emerging from the ground. As for soybeans, about 70% of those crops have been planted in the state. That's on trend with what Kevin Deinert has been seeing in his area.
I'd say for the general area around here, Mount Vernon, everyone's fairly well complete, but there are some fields and some pockets here or there. Generally 90% complete with a few soybean fields here or there that still need to go in.
Corn and soybeans are two of South Dakota's top crops that farmers typically rotate between each year. But this year, one of those is looking more profitable than the other.
As we came into this year, it sure looked like the economics of corn were more favorable than soybeans. And a lot of guys around here mostly stuck to the regular rotation of corn and soybeans while mixing in a few small grains as well.
Matthew Elliott with the SDSU Ag Extension says more corn this year also has to do with last year's crops.
We had a lot of soybean acres and less corn acres last year, and so that kind of allowed us to build even bigger soybean supplies relative to demand, and we were shorter on corn acres, so then our supply relative to demand on corn shrank, so that market's kind of flipping back and forth, right? So we're going the other way now, so we're incentivizing more corn. Expect to have more corn production this year, where there's expect to be about 4.7 million acres of shift from corn, in more corn acres this year than last. And there's about 3.6 million acres less soybeans this year planted than last.
While there's more demand for corn over soybeans this year, Elliott says tariff talk and trade disruptions are putting pressure on prices for both crops as well as wheat.
Soybeans and wheat, we rely predominantly on exports in order to have the prices that we've observed historically speaking. Corn less so. We still export about 20-25% of our corn, but more of that's domestically consumed, but still all of them are interrelated. So they all kind of move together. So if soybeans are weak, wheat's weak, corn will be weak. They're all rely on those export markets. And so anything that disrupts exports for our commodities is going to put pressure on prices.
Diner says one thing farmers can do to help offset their needs is add more diversification into their planting.
A lot of guys maybe have put in some oats or some milo, some crops that aren't generally planted, but some guys looking for some hay for the future just in case things turn dry again, or some diversification in their farm. So keeping that diversification to hopefully increase the profit of everybody's farm.
And as we head into the summer, farmers will be watching for what comes next in the economy.
Looking towards the markets, seeing what tariff talks do and what other trade talks do, and hopefully we can get some of that sorted out so we can keep a profitable environment for each of our farmers and everybody can keep on farming.
The top export market for corn in the United States is Mexico, while the top export market for soybeans is China. Up next, many people can draw, paint, and do other forms of art in your own home. But there is one medium that would be rather expensive to try at home, which is why a new business is giving rookie artists the opportunity to learn how to throw it down. KELOLAND's Summer Retires takes us to the studio to see how people are learning about pottery.
For many people, pottery isn't their forte.
I'm not really into art. I'm more into sewing and quilting. And so this is something totally new.
But the same can't be said for Skylar Stencil.
I started in high school with my high school art professor, Gary Siska. He just really led me to a love for it.
That love only grew through college and graduation.
Thought I was going to study up and go to med school, but instead I bought a pottery wheel. And I spent all my time doing that. And then I started working for Tom and Wanda Clark over at Dakota Potters. And I started by making clay for them, which only gave me easier access to my medium.
This drove Stencil to make a big decision.
And I decided that if I was going to do it forever, then I should probably make a living doing it.
She opened Smudge Studios in March. One of the main reasons she wanted to open a pottery studio was to create a community aspect that she started to miss.
In high school, we always had tons of people in the studio, so that was awesome. Even more so true at Creighton. There was always at least 4 to 5 other people. And during class, you would have 12 other people. And I just really missed having a community around me while I made art.
She already has been building that community. Carla Scott has been attending classes for the past few weeks.
I've picked up pieces throughout the years from other people making it and stuff. And that was back in April. We did a whole family play time and it was fun, so then decided to sign up for the class.
For Scott, learning how to throw pottery has been a learning curve.
You know how you watched it on Ghost and you thought it was so easy? Yeah, that was how it was going to be, and it's not like that. And when you're smashing it down, a lot of times it just, and it's a good thing it can be reused.
Teaching beginners like Scott has also been a new experience for Stencil.
In a clay date where I have 2 hours to get someone to learn how to center a piece, to all the way to finishing, shaping, right? Those are skills I learned over years and got to be good at. It's been very difficult to teach people how to do that within 2 hours.
But her students can't tell that it's been a struggle.
Sky is a wonderful teacher.
Teaching people a new skill in a medium that isn't as popular.
When my first piece got done, I was just amazed how good it looks. And this time I've done a bowl or a few bowls and then a plate. And so, I'm excited to finish that and a tray and stuff. But it's just amazing to see when it's done.
I hope that Smudge can offer a place for art, right? This is the first full large-scale pottery studio in the area, definitely. And I just hope that people can dip their toes into an art that's not always very accessible.
With On KELOLAND, I'm Summer Retires.
For people who are interested in throwing their hand at throwing pottery, Smudge Studios offers clay date classes. And if you think you would like to grow your pottery skills, there are also 5-week classes you can take. We posted more information on the classes on KELOLAND.com. Still to come, a South Dakota man is taking the trip of a lifetime on a bicycle. Why he's going across the U.S. to help homeless veterans. Right after the break in your Eye on KELOLAND Rewind. Welcome back to Eye on KELOLAND Rewind. Nothing is stopping a South Dakota man from raising money to help homeless veterans. Not even biking thousands of miles across the country. KELOLAND's Carly Phillips tells us about his journey from coast to coast.
Gage Matson is on a 4,228-mile mission across America.
I've always loved big adventures that are physically tough.
The T South Dakota native is biking the Trans-America Trail, which begins in Yorktown, Virginia. He set off in early May, crossing through parts of the Appalachian Trail and riding across the state of Kentucky in just a week. His journey continues through Missouri and Colorado, then north through towns like Jackson, Wyoming, and Missoula, Montana, before finishing on the west coast in Astoria, Oregon.
Making good progress, I think, and the days should pick up with mileage as well. As the trip has been going on. A couple days ago, we did 80 and then another 70 miles after that. It sure is pretty.
The reason he's biking across the country is to raise money to help those who have served the country. Last summer, Matson volunteered for a day at the Veterans Community Project of Sioux Falls.
At my last job in Sioux Falls, we did a volunteer opportunity at VCP, and I had the opportunity to go help build frame some walls in the houses and hear some testimonials. And it kind of struck home for me.
From support services to a home of their own, the nonprofit provides veterans with resources to help them get back on their feet. To Matson, this was eye-opening.
Just hearing those stories really solidifies how awesome that organization is and why I want to help raise money for it.
So, as any other aspiring Trans-America trail rider would do, he told the staff in Sioux Falls his plan and began preparing for his ride across the country.
He had expressed sort of a bucket list thing to bike across the country, and what he told Kaylin, who he's been working with, is he wanted to do this for somebody else, so he wouldn't quit. He was motivated by helping someone else.
With no government funding, the Veterans Community Project relies on donations and volunteers. Right now, the organization is adding another row of homes to the Sioux Falls village to help more veterans get a fresh start.
Paying the light bill, helping finish out building the village, all that money goes to helping house homeless veterans.
Helping others is a big part of Matson's goal, but it's also about pushing himself.
A couple of years ago, I was involved in a drunk driving accident. We were hit head on the highway, and thankfully myself and my passengers were okay, but my ankle was put into a pylon fracture and shattered, and I spent a good year and a half or 2 years in and out of surgeries and recovery.
Now back on his feet, Matson is biking not only to challenge himself, but to inspire others. The trek across America is no small feat, and it requires plenty of rest days, resilience,
a little wet,
and the kindness of strangers.
I've been approached by so many people. Are you biking across? Are you doing the Trans-America Trail? Yes. And they try and buy you dinner. Or I had a lady come up to me at the gas station as I was riding my bike, eating a snack. And she just said, "Do you have a place to stay tonight?" She's like, "I'm always looking for cyclists, and we love hosting you guys. It's so much fun."
It wasn't long before Matson realized he wasn't alone on this mission. What started as a solo ride to help veterans has grown into a shared journey with cyclists from around the world.
Along the way, I've met at least 10 other cyclists doing this, and now I'm actually rolling with 3 guys, one from California, a guy from London, UK, and a guy from West Virginia. And so we've been rolling together, and then we actually met 2 other gals from the Netherlands. We rode with them for a few days. And it's like the whole last week has flown by because we've been hanging out and riding together.
Each biker, their own story, their own goals, and their own reason to keep moving forward. And for Matson, it means pedaling across the same country that so many have fought to protect. With Eye on KELOLAND, I'm Carly Phillips.
Matson hopes to complete the trail in early August. He's already raised more than $6,500. More information on how you can donate is under this story on KELOLAND.com. And thanks for joining us for KELOLAND Rewind. Remember, you can find all your Eye on KELOLAND stories online at KELOLAND.com. Until next time, have a great day, everyone.